Without knowing and without looking, what tier of the pit do you think this is? You know, we've got about 10 minutes left, we're at the boss, look at the HP, it's going down pretty darn fast, maybe 110? No, this is 130. This is Heartseeker in Season 5. A lot has changed when it comes to everyone's favorite Season 4 build of Diablo 4, but one thing that has not changed is how powerful Heartseeker is, because just watch, we cut through the monsters like they're buttered. They just disappear. Now, 100% of the credit of this build goes to Dioxide, because I don't think anyone on the planet believed that this build would make sense. Not even Lilith. Yesterday, Dioxide opened the can of worms that is Heartseeker in Season 5, and I left a comment thinking, hey, I think we can optimize this build, and that's what we spent the last 10 hours doing, theory crafting and executing on a really optimized Heartseeker build. Let me show you how and why this works so well. Remember, for this season, they remade every single unique in the game, and also added a couple new ones, like the Shard of Arathiel. This weapon was insane in the PTR, and it's still really strong, making this build a possibility. The second change and reason this build is now viable is the Pain Gorgeous Gauntlets, which gives a ridiculous amount of basic skill ranks and attack speed, and the effect itself giving us some well-needed extra damage. And then we have the Cowl of Nameless, which gives us ranks to trick attacks, which is an insane passive that they changed to the Rogue for this season, and it basically gives us double damage at all times and 100% crit chance, because why not? And then because every single one of our attacks is a basic skill, we're using the Cold Clip aspect, which makes all of our attacks cold imbued, which essentially makes all of our enemies vulnerable and adding 40% damage. Of course, every single time we use Heartseeker, it casts twice, and Heartseeker kind of ricochets back and forth, so on bosses and single targets, they just get hit a lot. That's why you see the numbers are just, you can't even read what the damage is, because it's just, there's a lot going on. And in the last season, what enabled Heartseeker was Victimize and all the double dipping that was going on, but nowadays, Victimize is broken. There's a bunch of multipliers that doesn't even work with it. So we completely skip Victimize and just use close quarters combat instead for, you know, the 30% attack speed, but also the about 30% multiplicative damage bonus. So that's a quick overview of what enables this build, but if you want more details and understand the build a bit more, and especially how to make it work without perfect gear, I suggest you head over to Dioxide's channel. He's made 2 videos about this build that I think you're really gonna enjoy. Now, me and his Paragon boards and our playstyles vary a little bit. I'm using Cold Imbue, he's using Dash. I think my setup does a little bit more damage, but his setup feels a little better. So for all of you really detailed min-maxers out there, make sure you click the link in the description for the build planner so you can figure out all of the nuts and bolts of this build. I'm just happy there's an S-tier rogue build that doesn't involve Andariels.